that didn't help. So try to avoid awkward positions like that. But this functional training class is supposed to help build up the muscles and strength and balance and coordination to prevent those things from happening. So even though we do these things, they still happen. So do your best. So good afternoon. Welcome to functional training. We're going to be starting off with some active loosening and some dynamic stretches. But first, just a reminder to go at your own pace. If you experience any faintness, dizziness, shortness of breath, or any pain or discomfort, to go at your own pace. And we'll take a couple breaks in between our circuits. Okay, so we're going to begin by standing up, and we're going to do a couple stretches. Okay, so everyone's up. Okay. So what I want you to do first is just, if you do have a wall, hands on the wall, and we're just going to do some scapular push-ups. So we're stabilizing and strengthening the area between our shoulder blades so that they can stabilize and move better during any upper body movements. So we'll start on the wall. So here, hands are on the wall. Instead of standing up straight, you're gonna take a few steps back, just so that there's some kind of, you can push yourself off the wall. So hands here, about shoulder width apart. And instead of doing a full push-up, you're just gonna do squeezing your shoulder blades together and opening them. That's all you're doing. Squeezing the shoulder blades together and then separating them. So protraction and retraction of the shoulder blades, opening and closing, squeezing your shoulder blades together, keeping your arms straight the whole time. Just a small little motion really helps strengthen those small muscles. Okay, just a couple more. Perfect. All right, on the floor in a kneeling position or a lunge position, 90-degree angle of your front leg. What you're going to do is take your right hand, if it's your right leg, place it on the inside, so right beside the foot on the floor, and then turn and reach for the ceiling. And then bring your left hand down and place it by that foot and turn this way. So you might find this easier. Most people find this position easier. And that's just the range of motion is easier on the same side. One more time, so right hand, and try to open it up. And finally, switch again, switch. And hold that. You should feel a little bit of a stiffness around the glutes, lower back, that kind of area. It's good to loosen this up. Okay, other side. So left foot's in front, 90-degree angle. And we're going to start with, let's start with the left hand. So on the inside and turning this way. And switch. So right hand, so opposites, and turn. Okay, and one more time each. So left, and rotate. A little bit of balance here too. You might even feel a little off balance, a little shaky, and that's good. It's working, so that's important. Try to stabilize, push down to the ground, and switch sides. And bring it down. Good. Okay. So now we're going to be doing our glute bridge variations. So we're on the floor again for this one. So everyone's lying down on their back. And a traditional glute bridge, your feet are close together. You're lying down and you're lifting your butt off the ground. And you would hold it lifted. Instead of doing that, we're going to be doing kind of a pulse, one leg at a time. So it'll look something like this. Ready? Lifting one leg up and straighten it as much as you can. And then hold, squeeze the glutes, hold that together. Now without dropping the body down, switch feet. Okay, now keep it lifted, keep it squeezing here. And switch about 5 seconds per leg. Here we go, a few more. 3, 2, and 1. Switch without dropping. 3, 2, 1, a couple more. Nice and high, lift that leg as high as you can. 2, 1, last time. Now drop that foot, but don't drop your body yet. Keep it lifted. And what I'm going to get you to try to do is I want you to take a couple steps forward, keep it lifted high, and then a couple steps back. And again, forward and back. And now you're going to feel a bit of the hamstrings working. Keep it nice and high. Stepping forwards to walk out and stepping back. One more time there and back. Out. Now hold it. 3, 2, 1, and drop. Good. Stay there. Grab your legs and kind of hug them and kind of rock yourself a little bit in this kind of circular motion. Drop one leg. Keep the other one there. Hold it to one side of your body just a little bit. And grab the other leg. Same thing. Hold to one side of the body. And done. Okay, perfect. So there's our little active loosening and some stretching. Good to kind of get the muscles warmed up before we do any bigger movements. Okay, all right. So for those of you that weren't here, at least live last week's class, we were doing a movement. It is a bit more of a challenging movement that involves some balance, okay, or a great deal of balance, okay. So this is our second last week, I think, before we head into the break between semesters. So we expect it to be a bit more challenging because you've progressed along the way. So we're going to be doing what's called a 3-point lunge, where you do 3 different movement lunges. So not just forwards, but forwards, lateral, so to the side, and backwards. So a bit of coordination and balance is involved. But we're going to make it even more challenging because you have to keep your leg lifted the whole time when you return. And I'll show you what I mean. So here's an example. All right, this is a fun little challenge, and don't laugh because I'm obviously going to mess it up too, so it's all good. Okay, so here's what it's going to look like. So you're going to do a forward lunge first, and then you're going to return to this middle position, and you're going to do a lateral lunge, so big step to the side, return, and then a backwards reverse lunge, and return. So when I mean return, you're returning to the middle. Your left foot, your positioning leg that's here, it's planted the whole time. It never moves. This leg is always stuck in one position. Now, instead of bringing it back to the middle and touching, you're going to lift the leg. So it'll look like this. Forward, and then lift. And then from this position, as you can see, it's hard. Drop down into the lateral lunge, and then lift it again. Yeah, that's the challenge. And then from here, you go right into the reverse lunge and lift. And then you repeat them again, okay? It's also hard to talk at the same time and watch the camera. So this time, you guys are gonna try that. And it's a challenge, but it really is effective, and it will really help your dynamic balance. And it's very functional. Balance is so underappreciated. And I always say it, but it'll make all your other exercises feel so much easier. Okay, so let's give this one a try, all right? All right, here we go. Same side, okay? So forward lunge, and then lift the leg. If you need to grab a door or a wall, you can. And then now into the lateral, sideways, lift, and then reverse. Okay, but a little slower. Okay, ready? Up, and forward lunge, lift, side lunge, lift, and then reverse, and lift, and repeat. 1, 2. There we go. 3. Once more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, shake it off. Other side. Let's see if this is easier or harder. Okay, ready. Make sure you have enough room to do the lateral one. All right, so left foot. So lunge, lift, lateral, lift. Yeah, see, that's a challenge for me. And reverse lunge. Here we go. Forwards, lift, lateral, lift, reverse, lift. This one's definitely harder for me. I don't know about you guys. Forwards, lift, sideways, lift. That was better. Okay, one more. Forward, lift, lateral, lift, and reverse. Okay. All right, relax. So you can kind of see it's a lot harder when you have to bring the foot back here each time, as opposed to touching it to the floor, which cancels out the balance, right? So if we want to make it harder, that would be your progression, is to not let your foot return to the floor between all three. Okay, awesome. Okay, I still need to work on that myself. Okay, next one, we're gonna need one dumbbell, so one hand weight if you have it, so go ahead and grab that. Okay, so that was a good warm up for balance, because this exercise here, obviously is very heavily influenced by that warm up. So we're gonna be doing the one-legged deadlift involving one weight, and we're gonna press it over our head at the same time. So it looks like this. We've done this before if you followed along. So if your right foot is planted, your left leg will kick behind you. So you're gonna go down, and then on your way up, you're going to press the weight over your head. So it's in my right hand, or it might be left because it's opposite for you, if it matches the same foot that stays still. Okay, so here's this. One, and press. Two, and press. Okay, so you have to go slow and control. You can't do this one fast. And you're gonna have some struggles, but that's completely normal. Okay, so let's go eat more. All right, here we go. And press. Kick that back leg out as far and as high as you can while maintaining the balance. Two more. And press. Awesome. Excellent job. Okay, so other way, and again, something about my left side is a lot more challenging, or it's more difficult for me. So you might find that as well. So this one requires a lot more focus for sure. All right, so left hand and my left foot are planted. Here we go. Down and press. Down. So a few more left here. Here we go. Kick that back leg out nice and far. Fully extend. Two. Last one. And done. Okay, set that weight down. Okay, excellent. All right, I'm going to give you a minute just to kind of recover from those ones. So yeah, those ones are never easy. If they feel easy, then you're maybe not doing the full range of motion, but anything involving balance will always be difficult, right? We walk on two legs, we jump with two legs, we sit down and stand up. Both feet, what's known as bilateral, we always use that. So whenever you're introduced to unilateral or one side, it's always a challenge. So try to incorporate that into your working. Okay, so just another 30 seconds. Take some water if you need to. Okay, we're going to be on the floor for this next one. And you're going to use that same weight that you just used, unless you have more. I only have pretty much one set of smaller weights and then a set of really big weights. So either they're too light or they're way too heavy. So I have to use these ones for most of mine. And we've had to adapt to not having a fitness center or a gym or anything. So use what you have, okay? Okay, all right, so this next one is definitely upper body now. So we're gonna give our legs a bit of a break. But there's always balance and coordination involved in the exercises, non-dependent on if it's upper body or lower body. And that's what functional training is all about, is you're always having to multitask. You're always doing two things at once or more. So that's the idea. So we're gonna hold a plank and we're gonna shift the weight back and forth. So basically, you're gonna be on your hands, like a push-up position, your feet behind you, holding yourself up in this position, taking the weight, transferring it under your body to the other hand. Taking it, transfer it under, and then you alternate, okay? So obviously when you shift that weight, your body is moving, right? So you're tilting. So you really want to try to use those core muscles to maintain your hips and shoulders so that you're not, tilting too much with your lower body. You're going to try to stay as straight as you can while you shift the weight back and forth, okay? So we're going to do 12 altogether. All right, here we go. Ready? So get up in that position. If that's too difficult, just go from your knees as opposed to your toes. All right, ready? And begin. Transfer, under, and switch. 2, and switch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Have a nice wide base too with your feet. Really helps. 8, 9. This is about the pace you want to go at. You don't want to go too fast. 10, 11. One more. 12, and finish. Okay. Yeah, so if you go slower, it's just going to require more stabilization. If you're to do that fast, you're kind of defeating the purpose, because the coordination and balance and stabilization requires a slow and controlled movement. So as much as you want to speed through it and get it over with, like maybe we all want to, you have to do it nice and slow. Okay, all right. And we're standing up again. I don't think we need our weight for this next exercise, so go ahead and put that off to the side. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our lower body, and we're going to be doing our skater strides. So again, for those of you that are new to the functional training, basically it's kind of like a lateral jump to one side, okay? But you're landing on one leg. So if you have any previous injuries, or you're a little kind of hesitant to perform the movement, you can kind of go at your own intensity, but the objective is still the same. The whole point is basically training your body to land slowly to absorb the shock when you're landing on one leg. Okay, it really helps stabilize the joint and it increases your performance. All right, so here's what it looks like, but it's really, really important that you land slowly, okay, and you have enough room to do this, okay? So you're gonna start on one side, and you're going to kind of shift to one side like that, and then drop, okay? So when I mean drop, you're shifting your weight, and you're gonna slowly lower down, and then touch that back leg on the floor, and then jump back to that same starting position and touch that foot to the floor, okay? So it's not like our initial warm-up where we did the 3 lunges and you had to keep your leg lifted the whole time. When you do this one, you can drop to the floor, you can rest both feet down, but that back leg is getting ready to propel you forward and land, right? So you have to keep it behind you to do that motion. Okay. So I think we're going to do, you know what? Let's do 20. All right. All right. Let's might as well spice it up a bit. Okay. Here we go. By the way, if you have a wall or a piece of furniture for balance, I suggest using it. I do the same thing and it really helps. Okay. Here we go. All right. And go. 1. Touch. 2. Touch. 3. Touch. Nice and slow landing. 4. Touch. 5. Touch. 6. 7. 8. 9. Get nice and low. 10. Halfway there. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 2 more. 19 and 20. Okay. All right. Let's take 30 seconds, but stay up and walk around, okay? You might start hearing a 2-year-old screaming, by the way. Just woke up from his nap. His mom is just getting him some food. So I don't know about you, but when you wake up, if you're hungry and grouchy, but he definitely is. So you might hear some screaming. But that's what happens when we're working from home. We all get it. All right, so our next one, we're gonna be doing our wood chop. So we're gonna grab that hand weight again, all right? Okay, so same weight you were using for the other exercises, in a half kneeling position or a lunge position. So here. All right, and we've done a couple variations of the same movement, but we're doing a rotational movement. So with functional training, you always want to work in different planes of motion. So not just up and down or left and right or forwards and backwards, but also rotational. So you want to kind of check off all the boxes so that, because your body, we're not robots, right? So we don't just like work in like 2 dimensions. We're always in different kind of flowed movements. So it's important to make sure that you actually do all those in your workout, okay? So the first one here, in a kneeling position, bring the weight down to the side of your body and then rotate. But very, very important that you don't use your shoulders to pull the weight. You're not using your upper body. Your arms are extended and your shoulders will be working to hold the weight extended. But the movement comes from the trunk. Okay, so it's all here from the hips and from the trunk. So make sure that you focus on that. All right, let's do 10 per side. You're going to go up quick and down slow. I like to do 1 second and 3 second count for your tempo. All right, here we go. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 2, and 1. 1. That's it. Two more. And done. Switch sides. Okay, so turn so you can see. So now, same thing, but on the right side of the body, or just the opposite that you were doing. Ready? Down slow and rotate quicker. 1, 2, 3, go. One more. and done. Excellent. Okay. Throw that weight away. Give yourself 30 seconds here. We're going to need it for this next one. Yeah, let's bring the heart rate down just a little bit. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ready? Okay, excellent. All right, so we've done some upper body, some lower body, a lot of balance, of course, strength involved here. This next one is basically just for increasing your heart rate. So we've all heard of burpees, I would imagine, but it's not just a regular kind of burpee. And I'll refresh your memory if you're not aware of what the burpee is. It's a total body explosive movement that gets the heart rate increased rapidly. But we're going to be doing a half burpee. Now that might actually sound easier, but not necessarily because of the movement that you're doing. So a full burpee, and I'll kind of increase the screen size here. So basically a full burpee is, we don't have enough, I don't have enough space to fully do it here because I'm almost 6'3" and I touch the ceiling. So a full burpee, you go down to the ground, you kick your legs out. You can do a push-up, but not necessarily. You jump back in and then you jump up. Okay, so it's down, 1, 2, and up. Okay, now instead of that last jump, because that's too much jumping, and again, I don't have the ceiling space here, you're going to come up only halfway, so like this. So you're going to go down, and you're going to stay squatting. 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so it's technically half of the range of motion for the last one. You're never going to be fully extended standing up or jumping, but it's still challenging. Okay, all right, so what should we do? 50, 100, 1,000 in 10 minutes? Is that fair? No, I don't think so, because that would mean I would have to do it too, and I don't want to do it. So let's do, oh geez, what should we do? Let's make it interesting. Let's do 15. I think that's fair. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so tuck my shirt in here. So ready? And go. So down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Push through these last 5. Here we go. 1. 2 more. And now you can stand. Okay, relax. So remember how I said it doesn't mean that they're necessarily easier. I don't know if you noticed, but when you do the half burpee and you stand here, as opposed to standing up, your quads and your glutes and your hamstrings are burning the whole time because you're maintaining that low squat position. Whereas when you do the full burpee, this releases and it relaxes for a minute. This one, not so much. So I kind of cheated and I lied to you, I tricked you when I said it was maybe easier if it's half. So you see how it all depends on how you do it versus how many, right? Okay, perfect. Now we're on the floor. So I'm gonna move my camera here and we're gonna be sitting down. All right. And we're gonna do our last higher intensity movement before we do our core and cool down. So we're gonna be doing our crab walk toe touch. So this is a fan favorite from what I've heard. And I enjoy this one too, because it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're crawling on the floor and you're playing. Even though adults don't really do that, we still get into awkward positions, and this helps with that. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're sitting down, plant your feet firmly on the floor, staying with your hands behind you, lift your body off the ground, And then you're gonna reach with your left hand, and you're gonna reach and touch your right foot. So here, so you go touch, and then bring them down without dropping the body, and do the opposites. So right to left, and here. And then what you do is you walk forward in the crab walk. So you're just gonna go like this, and then again, 1, 2, and then backwards, okay? So we're gonna do 4 each, so like 8 altogether. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. And go. So 1, 2, 1, 2, that's 1. Again, 1, get it as high as you can. 2, 1, 2. A lot of coordination here too. 1, 2. One more each. Here we go. 1, 2. Finish. 1, 2, and drop. Okay, relax. Okay, so obviously your shoulders are burning the whole time because they're planting. You're planting down and lifting your body. And there's some core in there every time you do a rotation. So really total body movement, right? No equipment necessary, all right? You're just down on the ground in an awkward position. Okay, now we're gonna do 1 core exercise and then we'll cool down. So while you're in this position, you're here, we'll do our twists. So ready, feet are lifted, hands here, rotate, touch the floor, touch, touch. You're gonna go at this speed, not this, but just like this. And keep those feet up. Now continue, 10, 9. One, relax just for like 5 seconds. Ready? Again, up, 15. 1, 7. And done. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Time for a cool down. Stay in this position. We're going to do a pigeon stretch. So front leg is bent, back leg extended, and just kind of sit in this position. And you're just kind of working all along the other side of the leg, the hip region, glutes. And just hold that. Switch sides. So this leg's bent, and this leg, you could keep this leg bent too, but if you want to get more of a stretch, try to extend it, and then you can kind of lift your body and lean over that front leg. It's always a challenge. And drop down. Now we're going to do our hip flexor stretch. So in a kneeling position, you're here. Opposite hand, so if it's your right leg, left arm, and then turn this way. And you want to lean forward so you get the front end of the leg. Okay. And lean back. This time go further down. And arm. Okay, lean back. Switch sides. Okay. Opposite arm and rotate. Bring it back. Now go down further, increase the stretch. Want to feel it along the front here, your hip flexors, very tight area, especially from sitting. And if you're curious to know why we twist, the rotation changes the pull in the muscle, makes it a bit tougher, more tension. And you can even reach over if you wanted to, and you'll feel that as well. Bring it back. Child's pose, so sit down on the heels and reach forward as low as you can go and hold it here. And pull it back. One deep breath. And down again. Sliding back. One more deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, very good. And that is time. Perfect. Well, thank you for joining for today, and hope you guys had a good little quick workout. And we got a whole bunch of stuff happening the rest of the week for Wellness Week. So thanks for tuning in. As always, be well. Take care. See ya.